Welcome to my channel, and I'm back with you once again with another video of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. There is an issue that I've been facing for the last few days, and today in this video I thought of covering that issue for you guys. Most of the people are not facing this issue, but maybe some people are facing this issue, and that's about the navigation system for Boeing 787-10 Dreamliner. So we'll do a short flight from Islamabad to Lahore. Islamabad is the capital city of Pakistan, from where I belong. And it's going to be a very short flight. We'll go for high altitude airways, and we'll just start from runway 28R, and we'll go to Lahore 36 right. So now this is the flight plan. I'm not touching the flight basics right now because I've already covered the flight basics in my tutorial before. But this Boeing 787-10 Dreamliner, I've been trying to fly this plane. A very nice plane. Obviously, it was not there in Explain 11, and this was the most important thing about Microsoft Flight Simulator, that I was able to fly Boeing 787. So I was excited. Finally got my hands on Microsoft Flight Simulator, but for the last few days, there has been an issue with the navigation system of the plane. In Boeing, there is a system that's known as the LNAV option, which basically navigates the plane through the flight path. And unfortunately, in my version of Microsoft Flight Simulator, this feature is not working. It's working for other people. I've been looking at the videos of other YouTubers as well, and they have been doing it quite rightly. I don't know what's the issue with my system. Maybe the instance of installation that I have on my system has an issue in it, but still, let's have a look at it.
Tower Boeing Alpha Sierra X-ray 787 at runway 28 right, ready for takeoff IFR to Lahore.
Thank you very much. So here we are in the Boeing 787-10 Dreamliner. Let me show you another thing before we go on, because this video I'm planning to basically touch all the issues that I'm facing in the simulator. Okay, so let's increase the lights. There are many issues that I face. Look at this. And now this is one thing which is very annoying. I don't know what's the issue. My graphics settings are good. They are not so bad because I've also running the screen capture software. That's why I have kept the graphics at high end, and 60 FPS. Everything is high. Everything is looking good so far. I'm not using the ultra settings. If I'm not using the screen capturing software, then I use the ultra settings. But right now, I was using high end. So this is one of the issues. So I have to adjust my view in the cockpit so that this line just disappears. If I'm here at this level, then it's fine. The continuous white line, but it gets like this. So it's kind of annoying. You can always find a way around, but still, you know, it would have been nice if this issue was not here. So this was one of the smallest issues that I was talking about. So let's look at the FMS, the Flight Management System, or the MCDU. Multi-purpose control and display unit. The flight plan is properly entered into the FMS, and you can see the route over here. And most importantly, I'm just telling you one thing, that I'm doing flight simulators for the last 10 years. My first experience was obviously with the Microsoft Flight Simulator, and then in 2018 I switched to Explain 11, and I've been flying Explain 11, and I have my videos on my YouTube channel of Explain 11. Though I am bad at landing, but I can land a plane. It's not an issue, but I don't know what's the issue with this Microsoft Flight Simulator. There is an issue with the handling of the plane, that I'm unable to actually control the plane the way it should be. Okay, so this is the flight plan. This is the route. I'm flying from Islamabad to Lahore. Departure, airport, runway, everything is there. And all of the basic information is there in the system, which is required for the flight. Okay. Now, let's move on to the main thing. Turn on the heads-up display. I'm not really talking about the flight basics today, as I told you before, because this video is regarding the issue that I'm facing for the navigation. Okay, so the altitude is set to 10,000 feet, speed 250 for the climb I will use. Okay, set. Now this is the LNAV option. This option is in the Boeing planes. If you fly 737, if you fly 777, if you fly 747, any Boeing plane, you will see this LNAV option. It actually enables the plane to follow the flight path. And let's change this view and let's zoom out. So now this is the flight path that we're going to follow. Okay. So as soon as I'm up in the air, I will turn on the autopilot, and then we will switch to the LNAV option so that the plane follows this line, the flight path. Okay. So here we go. Release the parking brakes. Flaps, you can see they're set at 15. Okay. And plus, I also feel that the what you can say, the physics, the flight physics are also not really good. I will not call them really amazing. They're like just okay. Okay, so now you will see everything on your screen right now, the issues that I'm facing. Okay, so let's give the throttle and let's take off from Islamabad Airport. And one of the biggest issues in Islamabad Airport is this, that they don't have the taxi or the runway lights. Amazing. It's a new airport. It was built 2 years back and it's got all the lights. But I think Microsoft Flight Simulator have not updated the lights over here in this version. Maybe in the coming few days we will see that. Now, one of the things, 15 flaps. I look at the yoke. It's like just there. I've not even touched it, and the plane is up in the air with the flaps 15. And the moment plane takes off, it says V1. Anyhow, gears up. Doesn't happen in X-Plane 11 like this. Okay. So the plane takes off itself. Let's track the flaps. Now turn on the autopilot and turn on the LNAV option. The moment I'll turn on the LNAV option, you will see the plane will start to climb at 2,100 feet per second. The altitude to 10,000 feet. The speed is 250. Now the main fun will begin. I do not copy and acknowledge handoff. Okay, I'm basically going to turn off this radio transmission because it's okay. No, I'm not going to tune into this center. I've turned on the radio communications because obviously I'm speaking and it gets very confusing most of the time. So soon after the takeoff, everything looks fine. Let's turn on. I did not turn on the lights, so it's okay. This is not a tutorial or just to show off the Boeing 787. It's basically the issue that I'm facing. So this is the flight path, and as long as the plane is turning, everything is looking good. But now, eventually, when the plane will straighten up, you will start to see an issue. The plane keeps on going left and right, left and right, left and right, left and right, and does not follow the flight path. So this is one of the biggest issues that I'm facing. I've been watching other YouTubers as well. Obviously, I'm a very small scale YouTuber. I don't have so many subscribers. But I obviously watch other YouTubers as well. They have been flying 787 and they have been flying good. I don't know what's the issue with this system that I have. Maybe the instance of installation that I have on my system has an issue in it, but I'm not really sure about it. So we're going to check this thing out. Let's look at the legs, Belco. So now the plane is going towards Belco. That's 184 degrees, 26 nautical miles away. Okay, so this is IS 402. Okay, so everything is looking good so far. The plane is climbing. Now the plane is turning left. Let's set max banking to 25 degrees. Bank is basically the angle to which the plane, what you can say, bends or the banks to on the turn. So if it's 25 degrees, there is a huge bank. If you keep on decreasing the bank, then obviously the turn will be the plane will be turning, but the bank will be less. So right now it's set to 25 degrees, which is by default in 787. But you can also set it to automatic. You can see these settings under the heading knob. So you can see. So the bank limit is 30 degrees and you can set it to auto under the heading knob. So heading knob has got two settings. One is the small knob and one is the bigger one. The bigger one is for the bank and the small one is for the heading. And if you press in the center, the plane will not fly on LNAV and will fly on heading. So this is one thing which I'm also going to try in this tutorial. Now the main game begins. The main fun begins. As soon as we are through the turns and we are at a path which is a straight line, the plane keeps on going left and right and does not straighten up with this line. You can see on the screen over here, on the Copilot display. You can see now this line is getting missed by the plane. So now the plane will start to turn left to follow this line, and then it will again cross this line and it will go back again. So the plane keeps on going left and right and left and right and left and right. Though it's not an issue, but still, if you're playing a Microsoft Flight Simulator, you've waited for so long for this flight simulator, you don't want to see this kind of an issue in your plane. I don't know why this thing is happening. I thought maybe initially it's the speed. The speed is not there. The flaps are up. The gears are up. I don't know what's the issue. Everything seems to be perfectly all right, and plus I'm very expert in Boeing, because obviously in XPlane 11 the only option you have is the Boeing 737. You have the Zebo mod, and then you have the 747. So these are the three planes that I've been flying, and mostly the default 737, and I was so comfortable. It was just like driving my own car. I was so comfortable with the controls, and plus I've got my videos. People are watching that. So flying a Boeing is not an issue for me. But just look at it. There should be a logic behind it, because this simulator came 10 days back, and I do a full-time job. I work from 9 to 5. I don't get the liberty to sit down and explore different things. So for me, it's a very small time. I come back from office. I'm just tired. I just have a cup of tea. I want to fly a plane. But look at this. When these things happen, you don't get the time and the liberty for a person like me to simply go and search over the internet for hours for looking for a solution to this. It should have been simple. And I know it's in the initial phases, but the alpha version was released, I think, many months back, and people were applying for that, and people were testing the alpha versions. So these are the basics. These are the basics, and they should have been covered. Now you can see the plane keeps on going left. Now it's turning left. Now it will miss the line. It will start going right. Again misses the line. Now it will turn left. Okay, so after quite some time yesterday, I thought that maybe the issue is with the banking. So maybe the plane is turning too much towards left and right. But the thing is this, the autopilot should be able to cover that. But if it's not covering, so let's try changing the bank to auto. Manage maximum banking automatically. So it's not 25 degrees now. It's set to automatic. So as per the requirement, the autopilot will actually bank the plane in order to follow the path. So now left turn is coming up. The next waypoint is Belko. And most importantly, in XPlane 11, what happens is this, that on the flight path, if you miss a waypoint, the plane keeps on coming back to that waypoint. Does not follow on the flight path. But over here, these waypoints are properly populated. Now this one is Belko. As soon as the plane will cross Belko, it will move towards Indec. And here it is. Indec. So it means that the plane is properly following the path. Plane is going through the waypoints. I have not missed a waypoint. But the main issue is this, that the plane cannot keep itself on the flight path in a straight line. And you can see now the plane is, I think, missing the waypoint. You look at this. We are way ahead. See? It has somehow crossed this waypoint. I don't know when the plane will decide to turn. So let's change the bank. You see, this is an issue that I'm facing with the navigation, and honestly speaking, it was a very big turn off for me. Now, when I've set to 25 degrees, now the plane is turning towards. I don't know when it was. It was actually planning to turn towards left. And the maximum bank over here on this scale is 30 degrees. The plane should turn towards 30 degrees, but right now I think I can only set it to 25 degrees. That's okay, maybe. It's the initial version of Microsoft Flight Simulator, and many of the features are disabled. But this is not good. On the weekend, I just got some time and I did some videos. I had a very short period of span of time in which I could do some videos. And there was a missed approach. Initially, I thought of not uploading the video and doing it again, but obviously I was short on time and I had some other things to do. So that's why I uploaded that. And trust me, if I look at that video, it's still there on my channel. It's about the Airbus A320neo. You look at it, it feels good, but still, that I've done my first landing in Microsoft Flight Simulator, but it was a missed approach. Now you can see the plane is off the course and it will now. So I'm trying all the options because obviously I'm really 100% sure when I will post this video on YouTube, you guys will watch it and obviously you will give your suggestions and everything. You must have tried this, you must have tried this, you must have tried this. So in this video I'm trying everything. I'm at 10,000 feet altitude. My speed is not also really high. So maybe there was a factor that if I was flying at 320 nautical miles, maybe the bank gets greater at high speed, and maybe I was missing the waypoints and the flight path. But I'm right now flying at 250 knots, which is a very nominal speed, not very fast. It's a normal speed. So let's reduce the speed. Let's do one thing. Let's keep it at 220 and see if the plane follows the path. Okay, so here we are. Honestly speaking, for the last 10 days, there has not been a single complete flight that I have carried out. There are issues in every flight. All the flights, there's slight issues. There is one issue that I face is, I'll try to capture that for you. The squawk code is not updated. I don't know. I keep on hearing this error from the tower. So maybe in the next coming few updates, it will get fine. Now, when I've turned back to 25 degrees, you see this plane has totally gone cuckoo. It's going right, it's going left, it keeps on just going. And you wish you were not in this plane. Just imagine, if you're sitting in this plane and it's going left and right and left and right, it's just like taking a walk in the park. An evening walk. So now look at this. Again, it started to turn towards left to follow the path. Okay, so at this point in time, I just searched over the internet for few YouTubers, and obviously as I didn't have time, so I didn't have time to watch the complete 2 or 3 hours video, but I saw somebody, doing the navigation on the heading. So instead of the LNAV, they use the heading. So what I'll do is this. I'll use the heading. So index is at 113 degrees. I will set the heading to 113 degrees over here. Okay, and instead of using LNAV, I'll press this button, turn heading select on, and I will try to fly the plane on the headings rather than following the LNAV, and we will see what will happen. So when I turn on the heading, the plane starts to behave in the manner in which I want it to behave. It gets all right, but we will see. So now it's turning towards index, and I think everything is looking good so far. So after the index, there is another waypoint. I will turn towards that. Again, you can see plane is turning left, right, left, right, left, right. It's not like, straight away following the heading. So index is now at 106. Let's reduce the heading. Let's move to 106 degrees over here, as it's mentioned. So now the plane will again turn left. So it's all about lefts and rights. I don't know. Maybe if I'm doing something wrong, I've tried all the options, honestly speaking, for the last 3-4 days, and I'm just trying to fix all the issues. I've tried everything, and still I'm unable to figure out how to keep this plane in a straight line while flying on autopilot. And if you guys have any what you can say, a trick in the bag with you, and if you have tried something on 787, do let me know. But so far, there's one thing that I've been able to figure out, is this, that there is some issue with the instance of the installation file that I have on my system. Maybe there is an issue with that, because most of the YouTubers, they're flying 787 and it's flying perfect all right. Maybe, and plus I told you before, I don't have time to just sit down throughout a 1.5 hours or 2 hours video and just to see what they are actually doing, which I'm not doing, and that's why they're keeping the plane in the straight line. But still, so far, if you ask me, it's a nice simulator. I have been saving money to basically buy a system. I bought it, I think, last year October. I bought a HP Omen with the RTX 2080 NVIDIA, and I've been waiting very anxiously for this flight simulator. And initially, the installation was an issue. I was unable to figure out what's happening. I was trying to install it on my C. My C had 150 GBs, but once I started the installation file said it's 90 GBs, but it used to get stuck. Then I changed the drive. Instead of installing it on C, I installed it on D, and then I realized that 90 GB is the download size of the files, and they get decompressed. So when I looked at the folder, it was actually 230 GB. So this is another one kind of a deceiving thing, that once, obviously you cannot download all the 230 GB, but still it should be written somewhere, or there should be some error message at least telling you that after decompression the files will become 230 GB. And honestly speaking, for 2 days I just kept on trying to install it on my C, because it said 90 GB and I had the 150 GB, so I had to go through the internet and search and to find the reason. Now 140. So if I haven't waited for this flight simulator and I was really new to it and I was flying it just for the sightseeing and for the fun purpose, then maybe I would have been fine with it. Plane going left and right, I wouldn't have cared, because I'm just looking at the places outside, which most of the people are doing. They're just enjoying the scenery, everything. But I really love to fly planes, and I just wanted to learn the MCDUs as well, because in Explain 11 the FMS or the MCDU is not that close to the actual MCDUs. It's a very plain, simple, basic MCDU. In the Zebo mod in Explain 11, there is another version of 737 which has a full version of the MCDU where you can configure the things. Otherwise, in the default plane, this is a very basic MCDU. So I was really looking forward to it in this flight simulator, that I will get a chance to learn the MCDU, which is close to the real life. So I don't know that thing has also been accomplished or not, because most of the features in the MCDU is also are also disabled. Likewise, the controls in the plane. So maybe in the coming few updates we will see some enhancements. Even with the heading, just look at this. The plane should follow this heading. This keeps on going left and right, left and right, left and right, left and right. Just imagine how agonizing this issue is. This is something that I have been fighting with. The heading select is on. So now 141 degrees. Let's set it to 141 degrees and see what happens. Just keep an eye on the screen. I think again we are going to miss this line, the flight path. I think now Autopilot has decided to follow this line. Now, at least after some time, the plane has decided to fly along the line. And obviously, as I'm setting the heading myself, so that's why it's not really aligned with this with the flight path. So I'm going to make some adjustment. Now we are supposed to go to 142 degrees, and I'm flying at 144 so that I can intercept this line. And then once we intercept, then I'll try to make it straight. So So somehow we are following the flight path. So this is one thing that you can do in 7 if you're flying 787 is that just try avoid using LNAV and use the heading mode selector for this. And the next waypoint is Mateen. So Mateen is how far? It's 44 nautical miles away. So let's increase the speed of the plane so that we are there quickly. And I will also try to land this plane in Lahore. Honestly speaking, I've been trying to land plane, and I don't know. Maybe the controls are difficult, or whatever the issue is with this version. It's very difficult to land the plane. It's not that easy. You will see. I'm just adjusting the heading. I'm not flying towards 141 degrees because I want to intercept this line, and the moment we'll intercept this line, then I will again change the heading to 141 so that at least we are following this line. Okay, so now we are intercepting it. So that's how the autopilot on LNAV should behave. The moment you are about to intercept this line, you basically set your course to 141, and you can see the plane will start to align itself with the line. So this is the basic of the LNAV. So this is what happens. The plane does not reduce the bank or try to meet this line after crossing the line. You start doing it before you cross the line. So that's how the autopilot is tuned, and that's how it should behave. You see? So I can do it manually by adjusting the heading. But I don't know, this LNAV option is not really helping me out. Again, we're moving away from this line. I don't know what's the issue. Maybe there's a small deviation, but still, just to give you an idea what was happening. So if I zoom out, yes, we are following the flight path. We are going towards Mateen, and here is Mateen. So after Mateen, there is Adnem, flying at 320 nautical miles. So now one thing you can see is you cannot use LNAV in 787. If you want to fly, you can fly it on the heading. So let's press LNAV and let's see what happens. Now the autopilot will try to correct itself. Now the main fun will begin. Now it will go left, it will go right, it will go left, it will go right. So now it's time to go left. You can see there is a slight bank. And now it's time to go right. Oops. I don't know when it will realize that it's getting off the course. Now there is a slide right there. Now the autopilot has decided to go right, and now the main fun begins here. It will go left, it will go right. It will go left, it will go right. Amazing. There should be at least a trick to use this LNAV option, because LNAV and VNAV, if you use both these options, it's really nice. LNAV enables the plane to follow the flight path, and VNAV enables the plane to basically follow the altitude and the speed. So you don't have to control the speed and the altitude as well. So we should have been at 410, not flight level 410. That's 41,000 feet, and at 310 nautical miles, we should be. On Indek, and at Mateen we should be at 225,000, flight level 258. Speed is not given, but obviously the plane will control the speed. So if you are using the VNAV option, then obviously the plane will also select the altitude and the speed as well. So now you can see the moment I was flying in the right heading, everything was going fine, but the moment I turned on the LNAV, the plane has again started to go left, right, left, right, left, right, and it will keep on doing. And maybe if I'm doing a 7-8 hours flight, maybe from Islamabad to Heathrow, it will just keep on doing it like this throughout the flight. And trust me, initially I thought that maybe this simulator is in the initial phase, so maybe there is an issue with the flight plan in Pakistan. Maybe I'm trying Islamabad to Lahore. As you can see, the Islamabad airport doesn't have lights, the taxi lights and the runway lights. So maybe I thought that that's the issue. So I tried another flight that was from Heathrow to Frankfurt. And again, same thing started happening. and this is, you see now the LNAV option is on, and the plane keeps on going left and right, left and right, left and right, and it will keep on doing that. So now I have to adjust the heading as well. Now we'll start the descent, and I will show you the catastrophe that will happen once I will start to approach the runway. That's another catastrophe. That's another issue. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is going to zoom. Okay, so as we are at 10,000 feet, we don't have to really worry about that. Pinom, I should be at 7,000. So where is Pinom? Over here. So let the plane fly, and before Pinom, somewhere here, we will start the descent. One more thing that I have identified is there is no top of descent calculation in this. It's amazing. This is like one of the basic things. Top of descent is like one of the basic things that should have been there. I've not seen it in Airbus A320neo. I've not seen it in 787. In X-Plane 11, the moment you give the cruise altitude, the plane automatically decides upon the top of descent. And as now I'm flying at 10,000 feet, and my flight level should have been 41,000 feet. You guys must be thinking, but trust me, I've also tried flying at 41,000 feet when I was trying the flight from Heathrow to Frankfurt, and it was not getting updated, the top of descent. And if you look at the tutorials that I did, I think 2 days back on Airbus A320neo, that's the flight plan and everything, you can see in that video that the top of descent is not there. In Boeing planes, the top of descent comes as a circle, a green circle, a small circle on the flight path. So at this point, you know there is a top of descent. The top of descent is actually the point from where you start to descend towards the runway. And in an Airbus, there is a small arrow like this on the flight path. So the top of descent is also not there. So I remember in 737, if you press this option progress, you can see the top of descent, that how far you are from the top of descent, but you cannot see it over here. Let's clear this NM. Thrust limit. So the best part about the Microsoft Flight Simulators is that the moment you update your flight plan in the beginning of the screen, before starting the simulator, when you make the flight plan, the basic things that are required by the FMS, they're automatically entered. So you don't have to worry about that. You can see everything is there. Flaps, thrust reduction, everything is there. V1 was there, VR was there, V2 is there. There's certain options that we cannot check. Okay. Ident, you can see. So most of the options are there. Reference airport, gate. Approach. I cannot select approach. I can select takeoff, but I can select. Okay. Nav data, I cannot. So many options are disabled. I agree with this point that, you know, as this Microsoft Flight Simulator is in the initial phases, so that's why most of the things are not updated, and obviously we'll keep on seeing the updates. But the thing is this, at least this thing shouldn't have happened. This navigation thing. Okay, now as my autopilot decides to go left and right throughout the flight, I think it enjoys doing this. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Let's take the passengers out of the misery and let's set the heading. So 154, I'll set the heading 154. Now I'm actually preparing for another catastrophic ending to this flight. You will see the fun now will begin. So now I've set the heading towards 154, and the moment we are after Phnom, then you will see another event of issues that I'm facing. So after descent, I will start to descend to 3,000 feet. The glide slope starts at 2,500, just before the runway. I think it's over here. for the Lahore 36 right runway. So Ilama it should be at 3,000 feet. So if I start my descent over here at 10,000, I should be here by at this waypoint at 3,000 feet. Okay, now we're heading towards Spinom, so let's start the descent, and I will set the altitude to 3,000, and I will set the vertical speed to, let's say, 1,000. Initially we'll descend at a slow speed. Let's reduce the speed. I will straight away go to 180 knots. Okay, I have kept the vertical speed less because I want to reduce the speed of the plane to 320 to 180 knots. I think the moment we are below 250 knots, I will extend the flaps. So the moment the speed is decreased, then the plane will start to descend. Okay, so I think it's time to extend the flaps. So this is the limit. With flaps 1, your speed should not be higher than this point. So the speed is reducing. Great. I will further extend the flaps. At flaps 5, you should be at 240. At flaps 10, you should be at 230. At flaps 15, you should be at slow speed. Okay. Now the plane is adjusting the speed and it will start to descend. I've turned on the vertical speed. This is where we're going to. The plane has started to climb actually. The speed is 180 and the speed is reducing because somehow the plane is climbing. Oops. You see? This is an issue. This is an issue I was talking to you about. So I had set it to minus 1,000 and it was still climbing. I don't know why this thing happened. Vertical speed was on. I don't know. Maybe there are small glitches that they will be solved hopefully soon. But for a person like me who is doing flight simulator for the last 10 years and plus I've been doing YouTube videos, for a person like me, finding a way around is with things like these is a simple thing. But for somebody who's new to the flight simulators and want to fly a plane, will increase the agony, will increase, will decrease the patience level of that person, because obviously the simulator is a very high price. It's not very low price, so you have to pay some good amount to buy and fly this plane. And if you're facing these issues, then it's an issue. Initially, I remember when these things used to happen to me, I used to get very much irritated because you're just flying the plane, you're sitting there for the last 1 or 2 hours, and finally at the descent you're having this issue. Oh my god, I forgot to turn on the heading. I was talking to you guys and I just missed it. Okay, so now let's turn the heading to 34 degrees. Let's see where it is. It's 22, so we should be at 22. No worries. If Autopilot can make a mistake, I can also make a mistake. So now the plane will turn and it will turn and it will turn and it will turn and it will turn. We are at slow speed, so I think we'll make it on time. So that's the issue of not having the LNAV option. If the LNAV option was working fine, we would have been heading towards the runway. We wouldn't have been doing the manual adjustments. So that's the issue. Plus, you also have the liberty of flying the plane manually. I'll show you that. When I'll hit the manual controls, you'll see the issues that are happening. It gets so difficult to control the plane. I'm using the creative, sorry, not creative, Logitech. I'm using Logitech Extreme 3D. So this is my controller. So you can see the heading. It's changing. Now we're getting straight with the runway. The heading for the or the course for the hot runway is exactly 360. That's why it's known as 36 right, because it's at 36 degrees, facing directly towards the north. Now the plane is turning. Don't worry, we have time. We still have this gap to fill up in order to straighten up the plane with the runway for the ILS. So we will be able to make it. And the altitude we're still decreasing. We're at 9,000 feet. So let's increase the vertical speed to increase the descent. Okay. So here we are. Let's go for a steeper turn. I'll now. You can see it over here. Let's. So manually we are flying it. 787. Ilama. So this is where I want to be. So I'm going to now intercept this waypoint, Ilama, and then I will straighten up the plane with the runway. So this is the runway 36 right. This flight simulator has really started to question my flying skills. The flight simulator skills. I am not that bad. I know how to fly this, but still, whatever the time I get from my office, and I just do it for fun. And plus, I also want to learn the flying stuff, how the planes work and how you fly a plane. In case if I ever get a chance to fly a real plane, that will be fun. Okay, so now we are at 6,900 feet. The speed is controlled, and we are heading towards Ilama. So once we are Ilama, then I will adjust the heading just to be in the straight line with the runway. Now we will slowly turn towards the runway so that we are aligned with this line. This is the path which leads towards the runway. So let's do that. And now hopefully we are going to miss it. We are going to miss it again. That's the issue. This is what I was talking to you about. Oh my god, we are so. Okay, let's reduce the speed. Let's keep it at 140. We have let's reduce the speed. The altitude is 3,600. This is the ILS diamond. This is the alignment with the runway, horizontal and vertical alignment. So we are, I think, off the localizer as well. We cannot perform an ILS. Oops. Okay, let's even start decreasing the altitude. Let's keep it at 1,500. So the speed is let's keep it at 1,600 and 1,500. The speed is at 140. Let's lower the gears. Here is the runway. So hopefully we will be aligned with the runway. Now we will be aligned with the runway. If this diamond is here, it means we are way above the glide slope. So no need to worry about that. We still have the time to turn on the ILS. Now the plane is not turning. I don't know when it will decide to turn. Turn, turn, turn. Okay. Now the fun part will begin, and we will. You see the yoke now. This is what I was telling you. The controls now it's responsive. Now it's responsive. Let's try to manually land the plane. So this is the thing that I was talking about. This is the issue that I'm facing almost every day. That you spend quite a good time. You want to land the plane, but still you cannot do that because just at the end there is an issue of like just manually aligning yourself. You're not getting the exact response. So that's the issue. It's time to reduce the throttle, the speed. I'm still not getting used to the heads-up display. This is for the first time I'm using that. If I turn on the autopilot right now, will it work? No. Let's not mess up the thing. So now the yoke is like totally turned towards left. Maybe the plane in actual life is not that much responsive. It takes some time to take the response, but still. This is... And plus, one more thing. I'll show you something. So now if I go back to the controls and if I use my Logitech Extreme, and let's go for reverse thrust. Reverse thrust. Reverse. Hold throttle reverse thrust. Joystick button 4. So this button should enable the reverse thrust. Okay. So if I'm able to touch down on the runway, you will see that reverse thrust will not be activated. If I also auto throttle is off. Somehow I'm going to make this landing. Somehow I'm going to do this. People really enjoy, some nice landing. But you see, I've managed it. This is what I've been practicing. You see, now we had this. I don't know. It should have been a great ILS landing, but still. Okay. So now as auto throttle is also off, I will try to turn on the reverse thrust and see if the reverse thrust is activated, because for the last 10 days I've been trying to activate the reverse thrust, but I'm unable to do that. Oops! Oh! Did you see the bounce back? Can I? See, I cannot even. I've bounced back. So you see? Okay. So the video ends. Thank you very much for staying with me. It was just to show you the issues that I face every day. So it's not that easy. I don't know, maybe the controls are difficult. Maybe I have to spend some more time on this. But the main issue is this, that the navigation system of the 787-10 does not work properly. And that's one of the biggest issues that I face. If everything is working fine, obviously, then we would have made a proper ILS approach and a proper ILS landing. But controlling the plane with the heading and everything, it gets very difficult. If you're also facing any issue, just do let me know and I'll try to explore it. And I'm also trying to find a solution to this problem, of this navigation problem. And if you know a way around, just let me know in the comment section. Thank you very much for staying with me. Do subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions, do ask me.